Hey, welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hey, I got a movie for you guys. I hope my daughter would love this movie. But the only problem is I don't know if she can handle going through. It's kind of slow, but then it's not really slow. And the movie's called Home for Rent. Home for Rent. I'm gonna read the plot synopsis and we'll go from there. This movie is 2 hours and 3 minutes, and it's labeled under fear, smoking, and violence. There's no, I don't think there's no nakedness in here. There's no anything in here. This is just a good Japanese-made movie. When her good tenants go bad, a landlord finds herself terrorized by a cult that seemingly has her husband enthralled and her daughter in its sights. And that's exactly what this is all about. Uh, I don't know why they moved out of this place, but they put it up for rent. And then they went into this apartment. But then their, I think it was her aunt, her grandma, kept spying on the people that, because she lived across the street. And she said that they was doing a bunch of, uh, like sermons and stuff like that. It looked like it looked like they were like in a cult. And she kept calling her and stuff. Well, they found out and she came up missing. Well, then there was a symbol that they put on the chest. And her husband come home and had the same symbol on his chest. Well, the thing is, it took me like 2 weeks to watch this because I'm watching this movie and this got subtitles, so you have to read it. But that don't really bother me. But I kept saying, boy, this looks good. But I would never finish it. So I come home the other day and I was like, man, you know what? I'm going to try to see if I can finish and see if this is good or not. And man, was I impressed with this movie. Golly. I said to myself, my daughter would love this movie. Now, my boys, I don't think they like this too much. My one son wouldn't. My other son wouldn't. Maybe my youngest son, and I know my other son wouldn't. But my daughter, I think she would like this. But there was some camera imagery in here that was just crazy good. And it was a well-made story. But what it was they were trying to get to her daughter. But they were going through her husband to try to get to her daughter. So I'm like, well, why? She was trying to convince her husband that these people ain't right, but he wouldn't listen to her. Come find out, he was part of the group, and she found out that he was doing all this chanting on the top of their, roof, and then these black crows would appear, and then there's some imagery that would just like boom. It looked like they were trying to jump scare you, but I don't really think they were trying to jump scare you. But the way that they did there was some figures with some dolls and stuff, because what they was doing was, come find out, I was like, okay, so why is he not believing her, and why all of a sudden he's into this? And I couldn't figure it out, so I'm still watching this movie. I'm like, then it goes back, 11 years ago. That comes across the screen. It says 11 years ago, and it's him again. And I'm like, okay, who's this little girl? But it said 11 years ago. I said, okay, he already has a little girl, but then, because they're trying to get a hold of because they got their sights on this little girl. But then he has a daughter with his wife. And his wife's been trying to tell him, says, why you have this symbol on your chest, and it's like the symbol of these people that's doing a cult, and my aunt, their grandma was missing, or her aunt was missing, and the dog got killed, and she knew something wasn't right? Well, then I'm watching the movie, and I'm like, then it says 11 years ago, and it showed him with this other little girl. Come find out he had a little girl, and he was a single dad. I don't know what happened to the mom, and he supposedly, he was he was really in love with his little girl. Well, here's the messed up thing. He was so in love with his little girl that she said, Dad, she goes, is the shower fixed? He goes, yeah, I fixed it yesterday. He says, I fixed the hot water unit, and the hot water unit's working just fine. But when I was watching this movie, I was like, why would you put a hot water unit? The thing heats up the water, but they had it where it was inside the shower wall, like the shot, the water would come out you this way, but he had it like right here. And somehow that thing malfunctioned. And when she was in there singing, it barbecued her. I mean, it fried her and killed her. And he took that death hard. And when they showed him going to the funeral and stuff and had her picture and stuff, and then he put his hand on her hand, because it burned her pretty bad, and her face was burnt and stuff. And I was like, dang, it kind of like was a downer to me because he played so good as a grieving dad. I'm like, okay, he had a daughter like 11 years ago. So he has a daughter now with this woman. So then it fast forward and it shows, it goes to him being all depressed, drinking, and he's showing he's got a picture of him and her dancing because she was like almost 10 or 11 years old. And the daughter that he has now is 9. And at present day is 9. And I was like, wow, man, that would have to hurt. Well, he's in this apartment all bummed out and it's all junky and stuff. Well, he gets a ring at his gate. It's in Japan. He goes downstairs and he looks at this woman. It's his wife, but it's his future wife. She says, "Hey," she goes, "It's so and so live here. I just want to know so and so." And he walked halfway up to her and he goes, "No." He says, "No, they haven't been here in a while." He said, "They moved out. I'm the one who lives here," and stuff like that. He was just kind of like, because he's still upset about his daughter. But see, she had no idea that he was grieving over his daughter. But then, he's like, she goes, "Okay, well, I'm sorry I bothered you." He said, "No problem," and he was getting ready to turn around and go back up the stairs in this apartment. And then she stopped and she goes, "Hey, do you have any insurance?" And then he looked at her and she's like, and that's when it stopped and it flipped towards present time. So that's how he met his wife that he has in present time. That's how he met her. She met him and she had no idea that he was grieving. He never told her that he had lost a daughter. So they had a daughter together. Okay, so the people that they rented this place to was a cult. They were he was willing to sacrifice his daughter that he got blessed with this woman. And he wanted to sacrifice that daughter to bring his daughter back. That's the only way you do it. You had to sacrifice that daughter, and then you had to put it into this doll. There was some imagery that was in there, but he got these people to help him. So he was going to sacrifice his daughter. He has a day to get his daughter back because he loved the daughter that he had that much. But anyway, I'm gonna hurry this up. So they betrayed him because the people that was going to do that for him, they had lost a daughter prior, like years before, and they were trying to bring their daughter back. So they betrayed him, and he ended up finding out what they was going to do, but they stabbed him to death. And he couldn't do anything, and then he was laying on the floor bleeding out, and then his daughter was trying to help him and stuff, and then he couldn't do nothing for his daughter that they was going to sacrifice, because he was going to sacrifice his daughter that came to help him to get his daughter back. So you have to lay both bodies down. You have to do this chant and stuff. And you got all these people in these black robes, these spirits, and they doing all this stuff. Well, her mom comes there and she tries to save him, but she noticed he says a chant, and he tells his daughter was in this doll because they had put his daughter's spirit in the doll, because when his daughter died in that apartment that they was living, her spirit was still in that apartment. So they captured it and put it in the doll. Before he died, he looked at that doll, and that doll opened up his eyes. He goes, "Save your sister." So she went to go save her sister, but while she was trying to save her sister, they were trying to kill his daughter now to put in. They had this doll that had the old spirit of a girl that was with them, that the people that betrayed him. So the mom's trying to save her daughter. And then she's trying to, stab, that woman, and all these spirits is holding her back. The camera imagery was pretty cool. So anyway, she ends up looking at the doll, and she hits the doll. And when she hits the doll that was beside her daughter, all this black smoke came out. So she killed the spirit of the people that betrayed her dad, daughter, because she wasn't able to transfer into that little girl. But in the middle of the chant, the girl that died 11 years ago went inside her sister and she couldn't get out. So when she saved her daughter, she saved her daughter, but her daughter was gone. And the daughter that was his original daughter from 11 years ago was trapped in the body and she couldn't get out. So they both went to, after they broke the chant, all this chanting, the stuff was vibrating, the roof came down, and the girl got up. She took the little girl got up, and her mom was knocked out, and she took this sword and she stabbed that woman in the head and killed that woman, made sure she was dead. And then when the cops came, they took them all to the hospital and stuff. And so when she came in and she had her arm was wrapped up, she started bawling. And the mom was like, honey, what's the matter? You give us in Japanese, you have to read subtitles. And she says, I'm sorry. And she says, what are you sorry about? And she says, I'm his original daughter. And she looked at her and she started bawling because her daughter is gone. Now, her husband's first daughter took over the body, and they both were sitting there crying and holding each other because she was more or less, it's not my fault. My dad came back and wanted me to come back, and now I'm in your daughter's body, and my dad is dead, and your daughter's gone, and it's like they both lost somebody, but yet the movie ended up that they end up being together, and then it showed her just taking care of that little girl, and she knew it wasn't her daughter, but it was her daughter's body, but it was the dad's daughter from 11 years ago was in her daughter's body by the daughter that they had together, and it was a fantastic movie. I was shocked how good this movie was. I ain't lying, you guys. Wow, this movie was so good. I was impressed. I said, man, my daughter would definitely love this movie, but I don't know if she could sit through some periods of it because, like I said, it took me 2 weeks to get through it because I didn't know if I was going to like this one. I finally sat down and I watched it. I was like, yo, man, this is good. I give it 2 thumbs up. Anyway, God bless. Take care. And we'll catch you next video. We'll see you.